this high I've been riding, this wave I've been riding all summer is quickly coming to an end. You can see the horizon and you're like, okay, I'm going to hit shore soon. Cool. What do I do when I get to the beach?
What am I going to do?
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. My name is Lindsay.
And my name is Tim.
And today we're talking about the photographer off season, that magical time of year where your camera is on the shelf and your editing queue is finally quiet. And suddenly you're wondering, should I be doing something, anything to prepare for next year?
This is your permission slip to slow down, recharge, and also set yourself up for a killer 2026 season. We're sharing what we do in our slower months from CEO days. We'll explain what that means. And workflow tune-ups to getting creative again. And yes, taking actual time off guilt-free.
Guilt-free. So critical. Guilt-free. And you know what? You don't need to hear it from us,
No,
but you
no,
are
no, no,
allowed
no.
to not feel guilty about taking rest. In fact, you should feel more guilty about burning yourself out. And I believe the pickle would agree with us.
I also agree the pickle would agree with that statement 100%. This is the Mystic Pickle. If you didn't tune in last week, you should go back and listen and watch after this episode. Obviously, you can see the description. There's a link there. Michelle Mack of Mack Weddings, the wedding planner extraordinaire from Kitchener-Waterloo region, gifted us this lovely little pickle.
Our magic 8-ball
Is
bueno. Dead. Okay.
She's dead.
She's been on his last legs. She's been on his has non-binary legs for many, many years.
And if you're tuning into the show, we have a special guest here today. Jose, my dog, our dog, Kelly and I's dog. is
Our
here-
dog,
yeah,
my son.
is here to, add some comfort, add some smells. You know,
He stinks, actually.
he's a stinky boy.
Tim did
Yeah.
say you want him to sit on your lap. He smells.
We're
And then
getting
I
him-
was like, no, he doesn't. And then I immediately roasted him.
We're
for
getting him
letting-
cleaned for my folks when we go to Japan, so he'll be.
He's so sweet.
He's very
though.
cuddly, though. He's very nice.
He's like I have him like all wrapped up.
yeah,
Oh
like
my
a little
God, he's
Bjorn,
little
little
baby.
bundle. Yeah.
He's going to talk later about some different themes and topics surrounding the off season,
Yeah.
but he's just warming up his vocal cords.
Yeah. Do we think that the mystical pickle will tell us? Well, here's my question, at least.
Yes.
Are you, dear listener, our friend, are you preparing for the off season? Are you still full tilt? I guess that's my question, mystical pickle. The majority of people listening to this podcast, are we prepared?
And you know what? The interesting thing is, I feel like we have to mentally prepare to have a good off season. You know, the off season can't just come and go without any thought.
Yeah.
We must give some thought to the winding down and to the ramping up of the off season. It's a totally different phase.
Yeah.
If you're listening from Australia, sorry, this one is for you in about 6 months.
You're ramping up.
But for those of us over here in the North American Western Hemisphere, we're slowing down. We're getting into Hygge season. Is that right? Hygge. Sorry, I'm not Scandinavian.
So will you, dear listener, heed our ideas and thoughts and feelings around slowing down?
So let's ask the Mystical
Pickle. Please tell us if this will be so. If our listeners will have a really successful wind down season.
The mystical pickle is whispering, no, 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 no.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well,
emphatically.
You know what? To be fair, the Magic 8-Ball was never wrong. So I think it's probably fair that the Mystic Pickle maybe is wrong on that one, because you guys are going to have a great off season. I don't think we can take
What a
our
bummer.
judgment from the pickle.
Okay.
I feel like the pickle, you know what? The pickle just hasn't quite warmed up to the concept yet. Maybe once he's heard our plan,
Okay.
he's heard our
job is to convince
ideas.
the pickle
We
of
have to
these
convince
things.
the pickle
Okay,
that
pickle.
an off season is good and
Heard.
useful.
We'll
and
try
wonderful.
harder. Understood.
So
Here's the themes we're going to cover.
yes, please
We
get
have
into
notes,
it.
obviously. We're going to
Obviously.
talk about rest and reset without feeling guilty. We're going to talk about reviewing bookings and revenue, checking where inquiries are coming from, identify what's working and what isn't, and then looking at expenses and upcoming investments you need to make for the coming year.
It's going to sound more, that sounds so bland.
It sounds so-
Oh my gosh, it sounds going to be terrible. But listen, here's the thing. What other career, aside from like a professional athlete, do you get an off season?
Yeah, true.
Like, or in tourism, right? There's off seasons there, but there's not a lot of careers that are full-time careers, like sustainable, well-paying jobs, that you have such an extreme difference of seasons.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I love so much about our jobs is that we do have it. Like I really enjoy the seasons.
Yeah.
I've come to love them though, I would say.
Yeah.
It comes with its ups and downs, and the first few years it's very weird because you're going full tilt into
A wall.
yeah.
All of a sudden it stops. Wedding season's over. You're like, oh, okay. So now what do I do?
And I will say that I have had both versions. I have had multiple years where I had no off season. I used to joke off season's a myth because people would always say to me, "Oh, are you excited for off season?" And I would like almost proudly, and it's so embarrassing now to think, I'd proudly be like, "I don't have an off season. I'm booked
all the time.
I'm booked. January booked. February booked. You guys might be off and not working, but me, I'm booked." Wow, I sound insufferable. I promise I never spoke like that.
But the point is, we're going to talk about working. We're going to talk about working on the business as opposed to working in the business.
And this is the thing. I think that one of the joys that I have found in intentional off season, and this is the thing, it's an intentional off season. It's not a thing that came by happenstance.
No.
It's a choice that we all made to, like, I personally intentionally take winter weddings off. I don't want to shoot a winter wedding unless there's big dineros behind it.
Big dineros, and also like something you want to add to your portfolio, right?
Yeah, or maybe a destination thing. It's a different type of work that I do.
Yeah.
I used to jokingly say, "Oh, I take a sabbatical. I'm done. I'm done my weddings, and now I'm off for the next 4 months." And there is a real mindset shift required going into these seasons that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But Tim, how do you? First of all, where are you at in your season? Are you winding down? Or are you still looking down the barrel of many weddings?
Well, I just posted my like most busy week, basically, or 7 days on Instagram. Just if you want to go check that out. At Timothy Musa.
So fun.
And it was a very hectic week. Lots of travel, lots of variety of shoots, which was interesting and I kind of liked.
You were in Denver.
I was in Denver.
You were
I was in Toronto. I was in Kitchener. I was in Cambridge.
You had
I was back to
commercial shoot.
Laura. Commercial shoot, weddings,
Video,
all
photo.
this stuff. So it was a
Podcasting.
bit hectic, but that was kind of like the beginning of the end. That was my kind of. I knew this week was coming.
It gets harder before it gets easier.
And it was my dark before the dawn. And now things are getting a bit, slower, which is nice. And they're ramping up to a nice trip that we're all taking to Japan in November, which is really nice. So I think you're listening to this while we're gone. No, we're still here.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What day is it today? You'll tell us.
So yeah.
But wedding season wise, do you still have some weddings coming up?
Yes, I still have 5 weddings.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Well, so this is the thing. It's like a double-edged sword because on one hand, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry about that. But on the other hand, I'm like, would be nice to still have the income of the 5 weddings coming in right now because I only have 1 left.
Okay.
Which I've been paid for. Yeah. And it's whenever I get my final wedding payment for like the final wedding that I do of the year.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh.
Well, that's it?
Will I ever make another dollar again? Will I ever make? And it's so funny because it's also like, I also just launched all of my holiday mini sessions and I have people like barking up the tree for newborn sessions. Like, it's not like the business ends, but there is that panic of, is this it?
This high I've been riding, this wave I've been riding all summer is slowly or quickly coming to an end. You can see the horizon and you're like, okay, I'm going to hit shore soon. Cool. What do I do when I get to the beach?
What am I going to do? And basically that's what made us think of this is what I want this year to be my most intentional off season yet.
Lovely.
And here's the thing. Here's how I know it will be my most intentional off season yet, because for the first time ever, actually, I don't think we've spoken about this on the podcast. This is such a bummer, but for the first time ever, I have no responsibilities at home because both our cat and our dog passed away this fall and summer. 14 years and 11 years. We had such sweet babies. Hence why I have my emotional support puppy, Jose, my baby. But we lost our sweet Richie Bear in September. And around that time, Taylor and I were talking about what we wanted to do over the winter. And we go to Mexico every winter. Yeah. We have been doing that since like we were able to after COVID. Yeah. And I really like that time. It's always been very intentional. It's always been a reset after the holidays, the craziness of making sure all of my clients get their print products and I've done all my family stuff and then we go away and it's so great. And sometimes it's been quite a short trip. It'll be a week,
2 weeks,
and
maybe
we've done 2, maximum 2, and then another trip somewhere else.
Because you got to get home for the fur babies.
But then, we always had to go home. And I liked having responsibilities. I won't lie, but we were looking at this thinking, well, you know what, before we get another dog, which we will, in the meantime, I'll just steal Jose from you. We should take like a true CEO break, you know? Like what would we do if we were truly the actual CEOs? Well, Taylor actually is the CEO of his company because Anyways,
CEO and only employee.
and he has a couple, but
does he?
yeah,
I guess he does. Yeah.
But I don't think there's a board. His mom might be on the board. I don't know. Maybe I'm listed as the board. If I am a board, I wanted to know, do I get a vote?
Am I the board, Taylor? Can I vote?
Can we be voting members of Taylor Jackson
You wouldn't
Media
let me
Inc.?
touch it.
We shouldn't be voting
Get out of here.
members.
No.
But we were saying what would be great is instead of us going for a 1 week vacation, because when you go away for a week, you're vacationing.
You need a vacation from your vacation.
But it's a vacation in which you then come home and you're like re-energized and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get to work now.
Yeah.
But if you go away and you travel for a month, then you will be working for a few hours every day.
Yeah.
You get to go to the beach. You get to,
You create
do
a new
those
routine,
things.
right?
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm now re-envisioning. And that's the joy of our business is that we get to constantly re-envision. So I want to be very, very intentional at how I use that time I want to get a killer tan.
Yeah.
I want to book a bunch of shit. I want to revamp so many areas of my business.
Yeah.
And I want to be hotter and richer than ever next year.
Yeah.
Do you think I can do it? Ask the pickle. I don't trust her.
All those things, sir. I think it's
Sir,
a guy. It's
will
very
I-
phallic. It has to be a dude.
Sir, will I be hotter and richer than ever in 2026?
The mystical pickle whispers an affirmative yes.
Okay, well, see, the problem is that I already called him a liar once, so I don't trust him. But
He might be mischievous. He might be a kind of a trickster pickle.
he might be. Okay, but so now that you understand my envisioning for my own year,
Yeah.
Tim, can I hear your feelings about off season?
Yeah.
Let's just give us a high level overview of where you're at with your mindset around off season.
Great. Yeah. So us here in North America and specifically Lindsay, myself, Taylor, our friends, we like to edit and deliver as we go. It's not one of those things where we just shoot. We're not in a shooting mode and then we go into an editing mode once the shooting's done.
That's
It's
a
kind of-
terrifying
it's
concept, actually.
overlapping.
I think about that. That's like there are people that finish their
hear
last
about
wedding
that.
and they've got 3 months of editing to do. This episode's not for you.
No.
It is even more so for you because you've got some shit to figure out.
Just
If that's
stuff to
your
figure
case.
out. We could probably help you with that with some automation and
Yeah.
some apps that probably will help you. But I hear about these companies who, and it's fine, do whatever you want. Live your life. It's not for us.
I'm judging you.
Who will shoot, and then edit. And there's like a delineating line between the two of them. They don't, there's no Venn diagram basically. Or there is very little. So we want to make sure everything's out as we go instead of like just switching positions every 6 months. You switch. Not for us. That's fine. So my season really ends once I hit deliver on the last album for that year. And with the chapel weddings, those are kind of ongoing, which is kind of nice.
That's nice.
But I do feel a definite change in the seasonality of things because of the fact that we're living in the Northern Hemisphere and we get a winter. We get that
so nice.
shoulder season, which is really nice to kind of ease us into things. So I'm saunaing more often. I'm going back in the yard, raking the leaves, spending more time outside than I did during the summer because I'm not sweating through my clothes all the time. It's not insanely hot.
Your allergies aren't killing you.
Exactly. So that's kind of like the trigger in my brain and physically to start to look at the end of the year and decide where I want to spend.
Like professional seasonality that matches the seasonality.
Exactly. Like a farmer, basically.
We are farmers,
A little
except instead of sheep, we have people. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I do sometimes be jealous of the farmers of the sheep.
Yeah.
And
But in terms of professionally, it's really nice to have a studio space. We'll get into some of this as well as we go on, but like having that space to be able to take shoots on, to do portraits, to create fun videos in here.
Work on your marketing.
Work on your marketing is super helpful. And also like,
especially when it's wintry. Like
Yeah.
it's not like just for those of you who are unaware of what we mean by winter, because I know, sure, LA gets a winter and you guys might say, oh, it's cold, baby. It gets to like sometimes -40 Celsius here. I'm not going to do the math, but I think it actually, is it -40? Is that where it's the same?
it's somewhere along there.
It's somewhere
it kind
along
of
there that
hits.
it's the same Fahrenheit. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's cold as shit. Okay. And we're not talking about like it's beautiful and gorgeous outside. No, it gets like emo and depressive.
Yeah.
So we also have to be very intentional about if we have sun for like 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
How are we going to use those hours to not just fall into a slumber? Because
Bingo.
when you have a job that doesn't have a boss, and I know we have many, many bosses, but in the winter, we actually have very few bosses. We are entirely responsible for how we spend our days, and how we spend our days very much depicts what the next year is going to look like, good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
So if in the winter you're just bumbling around and not doing intentional rest and not doing intentional like thought work and planning work, the next year may not be awesome for you.
Yeah.
And I've been there for sure, where
Yeah.
the winter is, I'm rocked by personal stuff, or I'm literally just way too tired and I didn't do the planning for what my off season would look like. So my off season was I just traveled and I laid around and I watched a shitload of Netflix, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not going to set me up for like a really awesome spring. Spring will come, and it will come hard and fast. Oh my God, Jose is
he falling
resting on, he's just resting on the mic stand. I just love this dog. Oh my God.
You tune on YouTube if you want to see Jose sleeping on a mic stand.
So really the first sort of like, I guess, theme that we wanted to discuss is the need for resting and resetting. That we work so hard. We really do. There are many weeks where we are working 60 to 80 hours a week because we're in front of clients. If you shoot a wedding, you're looking at a 10-hour day plus travel. And that's only if you're shooting one wedding. Then you add 2. You are in front of clients for like 20 hours a week, just if you're only doing weddings. Then add in phone calls, add in meetings, add in a ton of emails, add in if you're a family photographer or branding photographer, you do elopements or whatever. You're in front of clients for what somebody else's normal work week is. And then you have another 20 plus hours of like work time.
Post-work.
Potentially. And I can do that. I've got it in me. I don't know if that will continue, but I do. I have it in me, and I really enjoy the work. I really I love it. But I think I refer to it as like, I just need a longer runway. If this plane is going to take off hard and successfully and we're going to go, I need a longer runway. And that's what I think of as the off season. And I think there is this myth that we just need to be hustling. I mean, 22-year-old me was very proud of the hustle.
Sure.
Ask 27-year-old me how it went. Tired, really burnt
Exhausted.
out, you know? And I was left with a business that had a little bit of a lack in direction and a lack of goal and focus. And so instead of us looking at off season as this time where we should be either embarrassed that we're taking rest or needing to fill it with more hustle, needing to fill it with more shoots, really look at this like you are the CEO of your company and you're going to take a 5,000 foot step back and say, what do we want to do here? What's working and what's not? And so that's the whole thing.
One more point on that. I feel like it's an intentional ramp. We're beating a dead horse here, but I really want to get it across to everyone. And maybe you're like us and you experience this too. I'm not the only one because other vendors I've talked to about this. Where you go. It's 7 days a week, and then on the 8th day of the second week, your body's like, no, you're not doing this anymore. It shuts you down. It's like
you're forced
we're done.
to shut down. Yes.
Whereas now I feel like we can start to plan those days a bit more because we have a bit more time in the schedule, a bit more time in the calendar to not have our bodies say, you're sick now. Enjoy being sick. There's Netflix. There's Apple TV. Watch something.
It's actually incredible the number of times that I have gotten really sick in November. And I know it kind of coincides with cold and flu season. But I mean like COVID sick, very bad flu sick. And I actually sound ill right now. I feel fine. But now I'm like, should I do a body scan? Am I okay?
It's some B12.
But it's that we go from work. Your body is running on adrenaline, so it will keep us pretty well until the day that you no longer have a shoot that day, and that's the day you will get sick. And that's usually what happens for me is like the day after my last wedding, I get really, really sick because my body finally says,
you're done now. Okay, cool.
Done. You're done here.
No longer need to run.
Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me yet. We'll pray for us. But you know, in that sort of vein of intentional rest and intentional creative rest, I think it's really important to not just fill the time with the Real Housewives, which I will do, of course, but filling it with winter hobbies or off-season hobbies that recharge you. For you, that's like sauning.
Totally.
We go for like winter hikes when I am forced to be in this country. And I don't say, I love Canada. I truly love the winter and the seasons, but I also love a beach. Some other things that, you know, traveling is really important to us. I know not for everybody, it's not always their thing, but whatever your winter hobbies are, it's so important to get outside, even if you are in an area, well, especially if you're in an area with 5 hours of light, it's so important to get outside and get some vitamin D in that skin and liven yourself up a little bit so that it's not like, you know, when the sun hits in March, it's the first time you've been energized.
You're not emerging from a cave like that bear. That blonde bear is just like
energy. And maybe that means you go for film walks. Maybe that means that you start snowboarding or skating or picking up a new winter hobby.
Visit your camera store, see what they're up to. Just hold some new stuff. You know, play around, get out the house.
Act like a CEO with your own little personal retreats built in. Make a list of those things. So
Want to go through the list?
We've talked about CEO days here.
Yeah.
Okay. CEO days, I think it's a thing you can Google. I think other people talk about this. I never know if my brain comes up with ideas. I don't think I came up with this one. Anyways,
Okay.
scheduling a CEO day is a thing that we should, quote unquote, do quarterly, I
Yes.
would say. As self-employed entrepreneurs, a lot of the time it's just you riding solo,
Yeah.
working from your kitchen island, hopefully with a chair with good back support. Okay. It can be very lonely and very solitary.
Very lonely.
But it can also feel like you are constantly working in the business and you are answering the emails and doing the shoot, doing
Yeah.
the editing, maybe updating your website once a quarter if
Casually.
you're lucky.
Yeah.
And it's like out of necessity because like something breaks and you're like, well, I got to fix that now.
Yeah.
You know, it's reactive. CEO days are proactive.
Yes.
CEO days are you block a day off on your calendar.
Bingo.
Ideally, I personally feel like it's quarterly. And then in the winter, maybe you do a couple of them throughout the winter. So I would say do one at the beginning of your off season. My personal feeling is you take a week off after your last shoot, like your last big one, whatever your day is in your mind. Like if it's your last big wedding, it's your last whatever.
Yeah.
Take a week off, like truly put an autoresponder on and like literally become a vegetable of yourself. I don't care. Go for walks, eat nice food,
Yeah.
make nice meals with your partner, your loved ones,
Your dog,
whatever,
your
your
cat,
dog.
whatever it might be.
Like take a vacation and really decompress a little bit. Nothing's on fire. We're not doctors.
Not doctors.
And then once you've done that and your brain has a minute to like settle and your nervous system has a chance to settle, that's a good time to do a CEO day. So a CEO day is
Well,
this.
I would start high level. Would you start high level? High level? Like 10,000 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the CEO day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. CEO day. Okay. I think
Do you
often,
put on a suit? What do you do?
Do you know what I think
Cufflinks?
often of
What?
is the Kylie Jenner quote where she goes, I really feel like, I forget what year it was. It might've been 2020. 2020 is going to be the year about thinking about things. And
This is why I don't watch- this is why I
I
don't
think
watch
I've
this shit.
probably misquoted, but it's something along the lines of like, this year we're just going to be really thinking about stuff. And that's what I think of CEO days as, Tim. I think of CEO days as this is the day where we're going to think about stuff.
I don't hate the idea, but it's just coming out of your mouth. Not your mouth, but it's fine.
Dude, she's a billionaire. I'm not saying
Truly,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that like that's a good thing. She's a
No,
billionaire,
no.
but
Saying the bar's low.
Being a self-made. I hope you can feel the air quotes if
Yes.
you're not watching them. A self-made woman is no small feat, and so
No, it's not.
she's thinking about things. And on CEO Day, that's what we're doing. We're
Thinking
thinking
about
about
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
The thinking about things can mean that. Okay, here's how I picture it.
Okay.
We have to set the tone and the space
Please.
for a CEO Day.
Yes.
In my ideal
the
world,
table.
it's going to be a 2-day retreat in a cabin.
Ooh,
Okay.
Calm,
There is
calm.
Wi-Fi. We must have it. We are working CEOs.
Do you turn off Instagram? Do you delete the app? What do you do?
Well,
Because it's so distracting. One of those things
yes,
takes
I
20
would
minutes
say-
to get into a flow state.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would say you have to look at this really, really intentionally of what's your goal for your CEO day.
Yeah.
You almost need to, on your week
You almost need
off-
an accountability partner. You need someone who's like maybe not in your business if you don't have an employee, but
I actually did this with my girlfriend Nova. She
Okay.
and I have done. We rented a cabin in Collingwood. We literally did. We didn't call it a CEO day, but we did a CEO weekend.
yeah.
And we yap with each other about the businesses. We have very similar businesses, but also different goals and different visions for our personal lives.
Yeah.
And we had notebooks, we had charts, we had calendars. We were scheduling out the next year. We were talking about money. We were being very, very candid. This is the best. If you have a friend that you can do this with, like that's fun work to do
Yeah.
with another person.
Yeah.
If you're an introvert or the idea of doing this with another person sucks, don't do it with another person.
Another person. Get a stuffed animal. Get your dog to sit with you, you know? Yeah.
Do it with chat if you want to talk to somebody, you know, I don't care. But like high level, find a space that feels different than the one where you do your in the work versus on the work.
Yes, I think
You
it's
know what
important. I
mean?
think space is a very important thing to delineate.
And perhaps it's just a nice coffee shop that
Maybe
you
it's a
don't
coffee
usually
shop.
go to.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's the library. Guys, I love the library.
Get a heater, go to your garage, set up a table,
So good idea.
make it a bit uncomfortable for yourself so you don't want to be
Honestly,
there too long.
You can find like a really if your goal is to go to an Airbnb and not leave,
Yeah.
you can get one for like $150 with a hot tub.
Get a
That's all
fishing
you
cabin.
need, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be anywhere like
No.
the goal is actually that it's not near people. You
Yeah.
don't want it to be in a busy place or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So the space I think is important. Set the space, set the tone for you to have a look at your business and say, what's happening here? And if you have a partner that's saying you're going to take a 2-day sabbatical away from me and our family or whatever, tell them Lindsay and Tim said I had to. It's like literally part of the business.
What do you do when you get there? You sit down and you got all your information.
A high level overview. And these are the kinds of, we're going to go high level and then we're going to dive into them.
Love it.
So it's kind of a schedule or it's kind of a mix of a business brain and creative recharge.
Yeah.
You're doing both. You want to recharge the business side and you also want to think creatively about what kind of a photographer and artist am I, right? Because we are both those things in one person and business, right? Here's some, I'll just riff off some things, Tim, and then, sorry, Jose, he woke up.
Oh, he's fine.
I will tell you some things that I think, Tim, and you throw in a few more
I love
if you
it.
want. Okay, so business strategy wise, I said review bookings and revenue.
Yep.
This is a looking backwards, okay? And do your best to do it non-judgmentally. It can be really, really hard to look back at your calendar and not get upset at yourself and not say, wow, I really wasted a lot of money or a lot of time. This is a non-judgmental space.
Judgmental zone.
This isn't for analysis yet. This is for data collection.
Correct.
Review bookings and revenue, check where inquiries have been coming from,
Yep.
identify what's working and what isn't, again, with no judgment, just factually. Look at some expenses and some upcoming investments. So if you're like, hey, my Canon R6 is dog shit and I've been wanting to switch to the Nikon Z system all year, this is your time to write that down. Make sure that you have an idea so that come March, you're not making poor financial decisions with your very first paycheck.
Bingo.
Nova and I used to call it Juning. And June would come.
Yeah.
We were the dumbest 22-year-old girls. We would be like, you know what we should do? We should buy luxury handbags. Truthfully, it hasn't done me dirty yet, but it's nice to know, okay, June will be a really good month for me.
Yeah.
I might feel a little bit spendy because this off season, I was trying to keep things lean or whatever. Future planning of investments that you might need to make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we're going to get into like some planning and goal setting.
Love it.
Map out content for your next month,
Yep.
6 months. I would say like general ideas of these seasons. These are the types of things I like to be talking about.
We're still high level at this point. You're not writing down specific ideas. Maybe if you have some, put them down there because they might go away. Good to write things down. But like it's generally like, do you want to focus on content around the work you do, how you do it? Do you want to do some more blogging? Like
think about those pillars. Like we've talked about content pillars before.
Yeah.
Did you have content pillars or were you just running and gunning? You
and then
posted whatever you wanted last year.
Relate it all back to making money, all back to
and enjoying
the clients,
your
where they're
business.
coming from, enjoying your business, that kind of thing. Make sure it's like not
Values
just
driven.
I want to do content about horses. Like, well, you're not photographing horses. You don't have clients with horses. Why are you focusing on horses? Unless it's part of your identity as a photographer, you want to move in that space. But I would say it needs to be related to the bookings you have coming up, the bookings you've had in the past, things you really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think all of this entire, whenever we're talking about our businesses, it has to be values driven.
Yes.
What are your values? What are you motivated by?
Yeah.
What do you love and what do you not love? And those are always driving forces. Whenever people are asking questions of like other photographers and forums and groups, my question is like, well, what do you value? Do you value having clients that really love their work? Then this is how that value will change how you go about this scenario.
Yeah.
If you don't give a shit about your clients having a good experience and all you want is to make a lot of money and you don't care, well, then this is a different scenario. Or
Absolutely.
if you really value your free time, well, then the answer about how many weddings should I take is very different from the person who
Bingo.
doesn't value any, So, if you haven't looked at your values, what's important to you, that's day one. You do that on day one of CEO day. That's hour one perhaps. And it may change. You may grow through that as you become a different human, a different photographer, whatever. I think I've talked about this before. My values are, I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I want to create work that I'm proud of.
Hell yeah.
I want to make a lot of money.
Fuck yeah.
And that's just it. Those three things.
It's that simple.
So if it's not filling one of those three buckets, if it's not making me happy, if I'm not creating work that makes me feel really good, and if it's not making me money, it's got to fill at least one. Okay. That's why I said I'll shoot a winter wedding in January for a fee. Will I be proud of it and will it be fun? Absolutely not.
Well,
but money is nice.
But also it might be. There's the opportunity for it, right? You're not going to shoot.
It's not a no.
No.
It's not a no.
It's not a no.
What do you actually? You know what? I don't know what your values
I
are.
was just thinking. I don't know if my values are.
Guys.
No, my values, I think about
I've been
them.
talking about this for a decade.
know.
The man doesn't know his values. I'm
I
getting
think
a
it
whiteboard
is. I think it's
for our
very
next
similarly
episode.
aligned to you. It's I really enjoy novelty. I think novelty is one of those under-rung bells in our society. It's one of those things like, well, it's just novel. Who cares? Like, no. Novelty is why you remember certain days of the year. It's the spike in that like new idea. Oh, what's he doing?
He's just being cute. Look at him.
Yeah.
The monitor. He's so sweet.
So I think I want to create novel experiences for people. I think that's really important.
I love
That's why I
that.
like to incorporate things like Super 8. I like to give my camera to the couple. Uniqueness. There's uniqueness to the day of a wedding, and I want to contribute to that in a positive way.
Yeah. I love that.
I want to have fun. I want to make money. I think those are very similar things. Like if I'm not having a good time,
And I think
it shows in my
and
work.
I think it's okay to at first you're going to say I want to make money and I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
At some point you might get into a more specific sense of what does I want to make money mean? Because we all want to make money.
Yeah.
For me, making money, I'm not looking to become a billionaire. Okay. Like I'm not looking to make so much money that it comes at the harm of other people.
Right.
I want to make a sustainable amount of money.
For sure.
I want to make an amount of money that if something comes up and somebody says, do you want to do this stupid thing? It's kind of expensive. I say, absolutely.
Yes.
Do I want to go see Sarah McLachlan and do a meet and greet with her? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Did I want to take
Did you shake her hand? Was she sick?
No, I didn't actually meet her. We did a sound check, which was really fun.
Very intimate.
And then, I won this thing to go and see the Arkells, who are my favorite, like literally all-time favorite band. And I won this thing with 30 people were invited to go and watch them play in a garage on a Tuesday. It's
crazy.
I have minus time in my schedule right now, but that's one of those things that you look at your values and you say, what is the point in me having a business?
Yes.
If I cannot put myself in my car with one of my besties and go for a drive and see my favorite freaking band play in a garage, once in a lifetime experience. The point of my business is so that I can go and have fun and have this time freedom, right?
Bingo.
But the money thing, it will, and all of your values, they will all start getting a little bit more dialed in if you say, okay, well, I want to make a shitload of money, but a shitload of money is very different for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like a shitload of money could be 80 grand. A shitload of money could be 500,000.
Yeah.
My idea of what a shitload of money has been has changed over the years,
Totally.
And it's very funny because it feels like a shitload of money, but really I just want to buy a house, have a nice car, maybe one day get a boat. And I'm not talking a yacht. Okay, Tim.
A Ron approved boat? Is Ron gonna be your captain?
Listen, the man has a freaking wooden boat rotting in the drive. It's not rotting, but no, it's not gonna be a Ron approved boat because then it would be like $400 and falling. No. Ron's my father,
boat.
by the way.
Yeah.
And the man has always had a boat problem. No, I'm not gonna have a Ron approved boat. It'll be a boat that me with zero mechanical skills can manage.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That's what I consider a shitload of money. In this
great.
economy, a boat is a shitload of money.
A boat is next level.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to travel freely with my friends and have a really nice time and buy myself a silly little purse every once in a while.
We're diverting a bit, but like when you say values in terms of work you're happy and proud of, what does that look like? Does that mean like work that you're personally proud about? Is it work because it's you're proud because the couples are excited about these photos? Like what does that look like? Okay.
I need the work to feel like something that I love. And at least once a wedding, I like to be able to say, I'm going to frame this and put this on my wall.
Yeah.
That's how proud of it I am.
Okay.
Like, you guys look bomb. This image is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This feels like great work.
Yeah.
And not every wedding is going to be like, oh, that's like the wedding that I would put on a screen in front of thousands of people while I'm talking about my skill set. No, that's not necessarily it. Like, we're not talking about this as my top 10 portfolio image, but work that I can say with what I was given and the planning that we all put into it, I feel really good about this.
Yeah.
And I feel proud to send it to you, and I'm not afraid to hit the send button.
Yeah.
And if you were to come back and say you weren't happy with it, I could still confidently say
we
did good work.
But we did good work.
We did good work there.
Did you remember the day? Because we did really good work. I just thought another one for me. It's I've always been like such a sucker for looking over like photo albums from a kid. Like just looking at myself, I'm like, oh, this is like my uncle, this is my aunt, this is my grandparents. And like seeing those photos is like super nostalgic and lovely to me. And I want to contribute to that to people's lives. I want to make sure that like the photos that they're seeing, whether they're printed or on their phone or however they're going to live in 20 years, they can look back and be like, that was what life looked like. Holy shit, look how young we all looked. Look how great we all looked.
One of my clients last week, I had a rough week last week. Tim walked me through some like very challenging client situations that I will not be getting into, but they were tough. They were very, very tough. And don't worry if you're a client listening to this, it wasn't you. But it was a tough go for sure.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh, wow, the pendulum must swing back. And then the next day I woke up to a person saying, we would love to work with you.
Hell
Let's
yeah,
book.
brother. Yeah.
And then another email from a client who I had just delivered a wedding to, the groom, which I always love to hear from them, saying, Lindsay, these are photos we're going to be looking at with our kids in high school. Thank you so much. That's
it.
That's what I mean by like, I want work I feel proud of. That, and it's my pride in my work is not solely related to how happy my clients are, because it can't be. That would be such an unhealthy way of going about things. But obviously it is part of it because we are service providers. So really, you have to know what your values are before you get into any of this.
Bingo.
But at least a rough idea, so that when you are going through the analysis phase of this work, that it starts to feel a little bit better.
It all points to a thing.
Okay. Planning and goal setting, you're going to be mapping out, we're going back. We're going to be mapping out
all over
like
here.
content. And we're talking about like what kind of marketing, what kind of stuff we need, monthly, the high level, quarterly perhaps. Create a plan for marketing, shoots, launches, if you're doing any sort of launches, of product launches, of sales.
Even if it's something simple like I want to post once a week, like make it really tangible and something you can actually achieve, because I have goals. I started a YouTube channel. I haven't posted in over a year because it just lost steam. And I'm like, what am I contributing to this community for? I don't
your
feel
goals
like I'm
have
doing
to
anything.
be smart, Tim.
And then we also started this podcast 2 years ago almost now.
You're allowed to pivot.
And we're allowed to pivot. And so this has been like my weekly content creation with Lindsay. It's a thing that like gets us making a thing instead of just consuming everything all the time. And it's been great. So whether you start a podcast, you start a weekly post, you do a blog, push yourself, give yourself a goal and try and hit it. If you won't, that's fine. We all make mistakes, but give yourself something that's tangible.
But I would say these CEO days are a really good opportunity to say, oh, I wanted to do that thing and I never did it. And don't beat yourself up for it. Perhaps there's a reason why, because you did something else that you feel better about.
Yeah.
Perhaps the reason you didn't do it is because you don't care about it.
Maybe
that
you don't
much.
give a shit. You don't want to. I've been podcasting since 2014. It's something I really love doing, whether I'm producing
and you
it
keep coming
or
back
being
to
on
it.
it. I'm like, this is a thing I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
I love this format.
We
I think
keep
it's magical.
yapping.
Yeah.
Systems and improvements. This is like, honestly, this becomes CEO week for me because I just love, this feels so good.
You get
I
into
love
the gears of
digging
things,
into
right?
it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've got a big mug. I've got notes everywhere.
Picture Lindsay as like, she's like becomes paper thin and there's all these gears and she's just like in the gears of her business, just winding
I'm part of
through and she's just greased up like a weird person,
That's
grinding through the
me.
gears and just like judging everything, getting her grease everywhere.
I'm a
That's
greased
you.
up little wizard in my computer, and I love a system.
Yeah.
I love a spreadsheet.
Sure.
Like even just yesterday, I called Nova because we still have these like little brainstorming sessions.
Yeah.
Because I'm hiring a VA, and I had to call her to
A virtual
say
assistant.
a virtual assistant. Thank you to our friend Josh Huggett that we had on. He told us about wedding workflows. So I am currently onboarding someone. But I called Nova to say, hey, I need to walk through a new system for how someone is going to manage my inbox, but I still need to be accessing it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I love doing that kind of work. And sometimes it has to happen more on the fly when something isn't going well. And sometimes it happens when
Something to say, Jose?
you have something you wanted to say. He loves a system also.
I think
Sometimes it has to happen quarterly,
Right.
and you take a step back and you say, hey, so I'm going to throw out some options here of things that have gone wrong in the previous year, and your systems need updating.
Yeah.
You were really behind on your editing.
Yeah.
You just burped and it is so stinky.
Oh, yeah,
Jose.
he's
That
gross.
is disgusting.
He's gnarly. You okay, buddy?
Don't vomit on me, please,
He
buddy.
won't vomit. He's not in the vomiting mood.
Maybe you were behind on deliverables. Your emails sucked and you were really slow on responding to emails. You want to go to your bed?
You can put him down.
I think he wants to go to his little bed.
Bye, Jose. Everyone say goodbye to Jose. Jose, go to bed. Go to bed. Good boy.
I'm going to smell now. That's
Lay down.
great.
Lay down.
The systems part for me, if you had terrible anxiety, and these are things that I have had, so that's why I'm just listing off things that have happened to me this year, past years, whatever. I lost a lot of sleep some years feeling like, did I back that up properly? Where are those SD cards?
Yeah.
I lost things. Mismanagement, right? Just an overall mismanagement of things. And it's sometimes stuff you don't know until you get it wrong.
Yeah.
But then you'd say, for everything that goes wrong, there's for sure a system that I could put into place so that this doesn't go wrong again.
Absolutely. You learn from your mistakes.
Right? And sometimes that means managing your second photographers or your assistants that handle your email, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you are the person that you're managing and trying to get systems in place.
So what a great activity for you, the listener, to take on. Even if you're not hiring a VA, it's something you could do is like, if I have to hand this communication off to another person to manage this business in a way that's as professional as me and the experience I want to create for my customer, looking at it right now, doing an audit of all the emails I send, all the processes when someone inquires to when they book to when they get, the first questionnaire to when just everything that goes into the customer side of your business. How would that look? And could I hand it off to someone, give them the keys and say, go with it, and it would make sense?
100%.
Likely not. And I'm not saying that because you're not good. I'm just saying that because we are human beings and we are creatures of habit. And if something works well enough, you don't have time, you're a single person business, you're just like, okay, we'll patch that up and keep moving. You know what I mean? Like
I would say most of the time we are reacting.
Yes.
Instead of being proactive, we are reacting to a thing. So here are some of the things that you can do in there. Refine some email templates, update your site copy or your pricing guides.
Yep.
Tighten up your workflows, your CRM, delivery, client onboarding, those like customer experiences. Revisit contracts and policies. So if your contract burnt you ever, good time to review it. Call a lawyer.
If you had a lawyer book you and like, we didn't understand this, like maybe reach out to them and say, hey, how would you word this or change this differently? Can I give you $1?
Can I give
my
you
lawyer?
$4? Relationship building is another thing that I like to do on this CEO day.
And it's one of those things that happens. It happens seasonally, I feel like. It's one of those things where we've met with like weird vendors for coffee sometimes.
Of course.
And it's not weird, but like it's interesting. Like, oh, you want to go for a coffee? Sure. We're not in like, we're in the similar entertainment business, but the same space. But it's just social, right?
Just chat, see where people are at, get a good idea. I would say if you are going to reach out to somebody and ask them to go for a coffee, which like Tim and I get that request often, especially if you're going to be reaching out to somebody that you're not particularly close with or is quite busy, or you're maybe reaching up in the industry.
Sure.
Go into it and ask them, can we meet for coffee? I'd love to chat about XYZ.
Yeah.
It's always the only time that I'll ever say no is when somebody says, can we grab a coffee?
I don't need a general.
First of all, just as a woman, I'm not just grabbing a coffee with some random dude on the internet that's messaged me because they happen to follow me. Yeah. Maybe we shot a wedding alongside each other.
It feels like they're taking something from you.
I'm like,
feels
for
very
what?
Much, yeah.
For what? What do you want to know or what do you want to do? And I don't like a trick. I don't like to be blindsided. And usually that's not what they're trying to do. But I like to know what I'm doing going into it. So if you are doing a reach out to maybe it's a planner that you want to have a great relationship. Maybe it's a florist that you're hoping to set up a styled shoot with.
Yeah.
Go into it and tell them, I really love your work. Here's what I would like to do to better my business, or what I really value in yours that I really respect and I'd love to learn from you. Yeah. Offer to buy them a coffee, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But again, this is like CEO day. Okay. So you're not doing that on CEO day.
No,
you're planning for doing these things.
Yes.
So you're saying, I want to reach out to 5 vendors.
Or you're responding to people who reach out to you.
I loved Mac Weddings. Yeah. I should make sure I reach out to them next week or whenever. You're scheduling this for a whole brick of time, which is, potentially, I don't know, November, December to March, April. Like you got some time here.
Venues, reach out to venues at the end of the year. Like, hey, if I haven't sent you any galleries yet, I'm so sorry. Here's all the galleries I shot of your wedding, of your venue space, of all the weddings I've put together. Please enjoy.
Yes.
Here's the vendor contract through Pic-Time. You can download and search AI and find the right ones.
Another thing that would be great is sending thank yous to people that have referred you, whether that be gifting, whatever.
Yeah.
Especially if you can plan for that in November and actually get that out around the holidays. That's really lovely.
Makes you look real nice.
And then checking in with past and upcoming people.
Yeah.
Some personal development, journaling, mindset work. Like that stuff might feel very passive, but it's some of the most important work. And the stuff that I do see literal CEOs doing a lot of. There's a reason why these boys are going on ski trips and smoking weed and going and hanging out with their buddies. Not that we know anybody that does that. But they're going and doing this work because it's very important to them personally and professionally. And our businesses are all going to become more successful the better that we are with processing our own personal time.
Bingo.
I would like to get into a tiny bit more of a deep dive into some of these.
Okay,
and
please.
I'm just
Which
gonna,
one?
Okay. So as far as like the systems and the workflow cleanup, one of the things that I think is really important is doing like a proper audit on things. Okay. Calendar audits are so important.
Yep.
And when I talk a calendar audit, so this is we're done CEO day. Okay. CEO day, we've done our 5,000 foot view. Now that was on Monday. And now, you've scheduled out what you're going to do for the next little bit. I would say you're going to take a look and say an audit is probably one of the first things that you have to do. So that's Tuesday. Maybe that's Wednesday and Thursday too. Depends on how fucked up your shit is. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry if you're listening with children. It's so important for us to look at our calendars and how we spent our time.
Yeah.
One of the best things that I did was I started actually putting in meetings, even if it's a quick phone call, whatever, even if it was in the past, I will put it on my calendar so that I can look back and say, wow, I spent a lot of time spinning my wheels there.
I put in every inquiry I get into my calendar. So, and I put the names of the couple and the venue that they inquired for. Even if they don't book, it stays there. So at the end of the year, I can look back and say, how many did I get versus not get? These are the dates. Even if I book it with someone else, I'm like, okay, I got 11 inquiries for this venue specifically. Cool. Good to know. That's where a lot of stuff's coming from.
Like auditing the calendar is such a good way for us to see where did we spend our time. Did I have enough personal time? Did I have enough family time?
Yeah.
Did I do the travel that I wanted to do? When I did travel, was it rushed and I felt stressed because I had a million things that I was working on, which been there for sure. Yeah, did you work on any passion projects? Like, was that a goal of yours at the beginning of last year? And did you do any of those things?
Sure was, not much.
And I think it's really, really important to like make a Google Doc or something for each year so that you can look back and say, okay, well, give yourself some credit too. The audit is really important to know where you spent your time, but also give yourself some credit for like, wow, I did a lot.
Yeah.
Because if you're not auditing it, you're judging yourself based on your own perception, and our perceptions are often wrong.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like how often do we say, I feel like I've gotten nowhere. And then you look at your past 2 weeks and you're like, no wonder I've gotten nowhere. I shot this. I helped my friend out. I helped this person with their kids. I went and moved my friend, blah, blah, blah. I did all of these personal things on top of like a really busy week. So you're a little bit behind on your inbox. It just feels like, well, of course you are. Literally, of course you are.
Had a whole life to live.
The audit is so important in order to know what your pain points were, but also to give yourself some kudos for some of the positives. Give
yourself some flowers. I was just at a family function this past week, and one of Kelly's aunts was like, so you travel a lot? I'm like, yeah, I've traveled some. She's like, where's your favorite place you've been? And I was talking about going to a safari in Africa, and like, it was like 8 years ago.
So cool.
And she's like, you should write a book. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you should like write a book about like the places you've been. You've seen some really cool stuff. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I'm not done yet. And then I was talking to Kelly on the way home, and she's like, yeah, like since meeting you and like traveling with Lindsay and Taylor and myself, and she's like, we've done way more things than I thought we ever would. And that's not to like just to my own horn, but it's one of those things where you don't think about the fact that you had this incredible life. You've done the things you wanted to do as a listener. You've started this business. You've photographed all these weddings. You've maybe photographed one wedding, but you've done these things that in the past were just dreams and ideas and thoughts. And now they're kind of like in your rear view a bit. You're like, oh, you should like be really happy and proud of yourself for like even starting and trying and doing.
We're just constantly very critical of ourselves.
Totally.
And I would say you and I are especially bad for this. And I think a lot of people are moving the carrot on ourselves. You're never going to give yourself the carrot. You're just going to be like, oh, that's cool. That was nice. And then I'm moving on to, but now what's the next goal? And what's the next goal? And there's always somebody with more and bigger and who's done better and who's achieved more and done other things that you haven't done. But a camera roll is a really good place to give yourself an idea of what your last year looked and felt like.
Yeah.
And I hope for you that when you do this audit, it feels good. But if it doesn't, and that's very possible because I've gone through years where I'm like, fuck, I lost both my pets this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are going to be low points and you're going to look at your camera roll and be like, well, that was rough. Like the previous year I had so many people that were sick and like just a lot of really hard things. But if in December you can look back and say, but mixed into those, I had
nice
some
moments.
Really cool days and I had some really incredible experiences. Like it doesn't need to be an Instagram highlight reel per se, maybe it literally does become that. But for you, it could be just make an album of some of the peaks and valleys of 2025 and look at what did that feel like for you in photo format, work-wise, personal-wise, whatever. And give yourself like actually tangibly write them down and write. And I kind of love doing that. Sometimes I do it publicly and sometimes I just do it internally. And I think that's very, very important.
Totally.
we've already kind of talked about some of the other things like tangibly that we would do, but I would say one of the really important things is to automate repetitive tasks.
Yes. Josh talked about this a bit on his podcast, how like in every episode of the podcast we hosted him on, where everything that comes up that's like, oh, that's the thing I don't want to do, let's create an automation for that. And
Yes.
he's very good at that. And I think working with
A VA.
the VA is very helpful to like, oh, you need to hand this to someone who knows how to handle this situation when it comes up. Whether it's like, hey, what time do we do getting ready? Great. Here's 2 options. Here, VA, take it. These are the options I do on a typical wedding day.
Create email templates.
Yes.
I have a million email templates.
Yeah.
So when like for pretty much every stage of my customer experience,
Yeah.
I would say I have, inquiry template. Okay, they've inquired with a package in mind versus inquired without a package in mind. They've inquired with no venue and no date. They've inquired with venue and date. Like I've got a bunch of different options.
Mad Libs.
If you don't have these things yet, this is such an exceptional thing to do in your off season. You can use ChatGPT or some sort of AI tool to write this for you.
But then personalize it.
But then yes, like obviously make it personalized.
Take the dashes out.
The double dash is going to kill you. But I'm not opposed to using it as a starting point.
Yeah,
like
it's a good starting point.
and
You're
I'm
right.
often like, this is not what I would do, but thanks for like a nicely written build out. Especially when you're in these like really heavy, deep thought weeks and days over the off season. It's nice to have a little bit of a head start.
Bingo.
Email templates, set up some reminders for yourself. Set up some like monthly, hey, on the first of the month, I should make sure that I have backed up my Google Calendar or, I should make sure that I have reached out to all of my couples who are getting married in 3 months or whatever your pain points were when you've done your audit of, oh, that really sucked and September came and I was behind.
Yeah.
What do you want to do differently? Automate some of those tasks so that it gets better.
When do you refresh your pricing, Lindsay? Not to lead the horse, but
to refresh your pricing. Well, I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But definitely the off season is a really good time to do it. Once you've looked at your values, you've looked at how much money you made, you looked at how many inquiries you have. I'm not suggesting every single person should be increasing their pricing. I haven't increased my prices in a couple of years when it comes to weddings because I did such a big jump that I felt like, okay, I'll let things catch up here.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be constant.
No.
But if you are getting a consistent amount of inquiries and every single one of them is booking, it might be a good idea. What about you? When do you do that?
I do it like twice a year.
Yeah.
I'll go through. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even mean increasing prices. Maybe it means changing your packages
That's
to
what
make
it
them more
is.
valuable.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do, I would say more so.
I
than,
adjust my, not that everything's based on hours, but I do adjust my hours a day. Like I have a base package now of 9 hours for video and that's it. Because for me to be able to capture getting ready, ceremony, speeches, everything in between, dances, it needs to be a 9-hour day. And people push back like, we only want 6. I'm like, well, then you can't have everything you get with this package and it doesn't make sense.
How would you get that?
You can't have everything that I deliver. So it's one of those things that I need to be present for. And I think based on the venues I work at, 9 hours is the base. It's one package and includes all the things I like doing on a wedding day.
But in a
and that's
year,
it.
you might change your mind and you might say, I don't want to do 9-hour days
maybe
anymore.
I just want to do 6 days, or maybe I do, maybe it's just half day, full day. You know what I mean? Like do something like that, which I've seen before.
And I think it's important to look at like, did I enjoy the days that I had?
Bingo.
Okay. So like I was really heavily trying to sell this 10-hour day, but I actually don't like shooting a 10-hour day.
No.
So why was I doing that?
Yeah.
So that's a really good time to do it. Another thing that is huge in the off season, I would say you do this anytime. There's never, ever, ever a bad time to sign up for a tool that's going to make your life easier. But a lot of photographers, I hear them say, well, I'm going to do that when I have a little bit more time. Okay, well, here it is, baby. Shift over your galleries to Pic-Time or to a gallery system. I strongly suggest Pic-Time because it does require a little bit of setup. But if you have been putting it off and you're with Pixie Set or with like a gallery host that is, how do I say this? Subpar, or just simpler.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go to a more elite system.
Be a big girl, be a big boy.
Be a big boy and gallery migration. It's not instant. It's not going to take one time.
I did it.
But they will do it for
last
you.
year. They migrated up, I think, up to 200 galleries.
Yeah,
of your
huge.
choosing. So you choose which ones you want. They take them from there. They import them here, and then you can send out emails to your
mass emails
clients.
to say, hey, your stuff's over
Your
here
stuff's
now.
And also, it's way better for printing. They have local printing for
Canada.
If you're in Canada, if you're in the US, if you're somewhere in Europe.
And it sets you up for success for the future because what Pic-Time has that nobody else has is built-in automation.
Bingo.
So that's how I send out like huge holiday sales, Mother's Day, Father's Day, like Christmas time, like I'm sending out things that I'm not creating on my own.
No, they give you templates. You just say, yes, I want that. This is the reduced cost, 20%, 10%, whatever it might be. Let it rip.
And then I would say the other thing that a lot of people are still hesitant about is AI editing.
Yeah.
And because your workflow has been somewhat working for you, but I would say that now that you've had a chance to audit it and say, but would I have liked to have more consistent edits and more time back? Probably is the time to go get yourself signed up with Imagine. You can get our links, the codes, blah, 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 are down in the description here if you guys want to try it out. But send us a message. You can message us on Instagram on Shoot Your Shot Podcast.
Totally.
And we are happy to help you through this. Like it can feel daunting.
Totally.
So if you have questions about what the process looks like or anything like that, please reach out. We love helping getting people onto systems that will make your lives easier.
Absolutely.
For like a really long time. We're not talking about like, oh, well, that'll be a nice couple hours fix. No, it's quite literally going to change your life. So I would probably do it.
I'm editing a gallery right now from a wedding I shot 20 minutes ago. Not 20 minutes ago, an hour and a half ago, because
so funny.
It was last minute at the chapel.
Yeah.
I rolled up wearing this because the guy rolled up and was like, can I have the photographer too? And Jeff Mack, the officiant there, and the guy who owns it, he's like, this is not a McDonald's. You need to like
There's
book
not
that
an
in
officiant
weeks in
here.
advance. And so he called me. I was setting up for this podcast, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we can do that, sure. And so I guess it was kind of McDonald's. He did actually get what he wanted. He got the
literally
burger and the fries on the side. But yeah, we pushed the podcast recording by it. But anyway, regardless, shot the wedding, lovely couple, 45 minutes. Back here,
Things
it's culling and editing right now. By the time I'm done this podcast,
So
it'll
crazy.
be done. Done.
So crazy.
So nice.
So set yourself up for success.
Yes.
The other thing that is so important that we do annually, I would suggest that it's probably more important that we do it more frequently, but is update your portfolio and your website.
Bingo.
Updating our portfolio, how will people know how exceptional you are? I mean, Michelle told us that she tells her couples to look at people's Instagrams because it's their most frequent work. But imagine they went on your Instagram and your website was also updated with stuff you just shot within the last few months. It doesn't look like, oh, well, this website has a different look or feel or not quite as up to par as the stuff.
Cohesiveness, my friend. Make them look like the same guy.
Yeah, not as great or as exceptional as the stuff on Instagram, which is a tiny little square. So, which kind of leads us into the marketing and lead gen side of things, which is so huge. And it's a big thing that, we could probably take an entire podcast episode to talk about.
At some point.
But I'll just give a high level overview.
Please.
Here are some things you can do under marketing and lead generation. And these can be entire days you take. These could be a few hours. It really depends on where you're at in your business, how up to date you are on things. But here's a laundry list of ideas for you. Update some SEO pages. So whether that means going into the back end of your website, making sure that all of your stuff is properly backlinked, making sure that your location is properly on your Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Update your Google business page. Make sure that you have updated images. You have gone back and thanked people for their Google reviews. Perhaps it's a good time to reach out to your past clients if you haven't and ask them for some more reviews.
Please give me a 5-star.
Update some Pinterest boards if you're on Pinterest.
Yep.
Blog last season's weddings. If you do 6 posts on 6 weddings, and it's funny because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I need to be blogging throughout the year. And it's a good idea to be blogging throughout the year. But if you're blogging in the winter, that's when a lot of couples are booking wedding photographers specifically.
Yeah.
If you're a family photographer and your work is quite seasonal, blog them and schedule them. And then schedule the social posts that go along with them. Like set up yourself for some future success in the spring and summer when you don't have time to be blogging.
Yeah.
Plan some seasonal content. So I would say, sprinkling in some of what you're doing in the off season and your own personal life, but plan out what you're going to do for the spring and summer. Sometimes that's a good time to be updating. Like if you have Instagram templates, like I like to have like a consistent backdrop for when I'm posting certain things. When I'm posting about my course, like let's say I have like a green PDF like thing that I actually just screenshot, put in my phone so that anytime I have something course related, it says better than booked on the bottom and then it has all of my stuff. So if you wanted to make something that when you're resharing client stories or you're posting from a wedding or you're posting from stories that you actually have like a consistent look, a brand guide, Canva, so simple, so easy. Just takes time, but maybe makes you look like you're really trying so hard. moving on, I would say that the other thing that's always great for like from a marketing and lead gen, but also just life is like taking part in some educational stuff.
Yes.
So workshops,
Bettering yourself.
Listening to podcasts,
Signing up for people's Patreons, supporting them that way, learning new things that way.
going
it's super
to
accessible.
conferences, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like really setting and building revenue goals. And it's not sexy. It's not
No.
sexy at all. But you wouldn't believe the number of photographers that I ask, like, you know, how are the books looking? I don't think that they have any idea.
No.
I don't think they actually have a clue how much money they made last year, how much money they spent last year.
Yep.
How much money they need in order to make this a sustainable thing,
Yep.
and how much money they want to make next year.
Look at your CRM. It'll tell you all the information you need. Everything you've tracked, every penny you've made, every
And if
penny
you
you've
don't
spent.
have a CRM,
Sign up for one.
well, you don't even necessarily need a CRM, but
It's helpful, though.
it is, but so like just keep it so simple and get yourself a spreadsheet. I
Google
love
Docs.
a spreadsheet for financial stuff. It's literally just how much came in, how much came out, what category is it in, which leads us into start early for tax
season, my friends.
None of us want to talk about it, so we're going to move right on.
Do it. It's the law.
Should we talk about some 5 simple steps, some key takeaways?
Yes.
Should we do that?
For you,
An
friends.
action plan for listeners.
We're rounding the bend on this episode. It's over an hour at this point. We appreciate you being
do
here.
you love it? We're here.
you do.
We love it. We love that you're here with us. And honestly, I do want to hear how you spend your off season or what you're planning on doing personally, professionally to make next year awesome. Okay, here's 5 simple steps. Tim, start us off.
Number 1, plan 1 rest week where you do nothing. You throw away your phone. You don't throw away your phone, but you put things on silent. You put yourself on a do not disturb situation, and you just become a vegetable of yourself, a cocoon. You're becoming a beautiful butterfly from the mollusk. What is it? No, a caterpillar that you were.
I hate it. Take a week off is what he's trying to say. Just take a week off.
Poetically, but it's not
take
good.
a week off and don't become a bug. Take a week off. Put it in your calendar. Tell people that rely on you, I'm off. Put an autoresponder on. We're off. And this is not CEO week. This is your day off.
This is why I don't podcast alone, because my ideas are
No, your ideas are phenomenal. It's just they always skew a little weird.
caked in weird
They
dirt.
always skew a little weird. Do a CEO day. Okay,
Yeah.
your CEO day is so critical.
Yeah.
And make sure that you have at least one of them scheduled in. Okay. Refresh your portfolio and your pricing.
Bingo.
That's so important. Once you've done CEO day, you've got a vision, you know your values, whatever, refresh the portfolio.
And that doesn't mean just up your pricing because you need to. It means rejig things, reconfigure the packages, the offerings you have, whether it's family, weddings, portraits, whatever it might be. Make it work for you in a way that's positive, leads towards your values, and it makes it a business you actually want to work in.
And some of those things mean guides. You're actually
Totally.
making PDF guides. Like you can go as deep with this as you want. You're
Yeah.
putting your pricing on your website, whatever
Get
it is.
creative. There's no
Make
rules.
it your own thing. Audit the client experience. Imagine
Yes.
you are a customer that finds you for the very first time. Somebody says, "Oh my gosh, I love Tim. He did our wedding and he was so awesome."
Does that reflect
their
it?
friend comes to find you.
Yeah.
What does start to finish? What does their experience feel like and
Bingo.
look like? And are you stoked about it? And are you proud of it?
Would you be happy to hire you? That's a great way to start. If the answer is maybe, you have some work to do. If it's
Audit-
no, you definitely have work to
Yeah,
do.
audit the experience from emails
Yeah.
to the workflow to the deliverable
Yep.
to all of it. Create a content bucket list. What kinds of pillars do you have in your business of the types of content you want to be making?
Yep.
And then what actual things do you want to be sharing, whether it be stories, BTS, portfolio stuff? What
Content
are those things?
Education. It doesn't mean like education on the side of teaching other photographers how to do what you do. It could be education in the way of like teaching your couples, potential clients, customers, how you do what you do, why you bring value to a day, and what
How
they're
to
going to
make their day
get, what the
better.
deliverables are on things.
Like
you know?
if you can educate somebody on, and it could be something simple. If you're, I don't know, a skincare person, you
Yep.
love skincare. I just got a facial yesterday, so it's on my mind.
great.
But you want to tell your couples how to prep your skin to have beautiful photo ready skin.
Get ready with
that.
me.
Could be a fun little bit. It shows
Activity.
your personality. It's going to keep people engaged.
Hell yeah.
Educational is always going to do well. It's always going to perform well.
Number 5 is book 2 vendor coffees or styled shoots. I think, you want to make sure you're not like just be covering, back to point 1, you don't want to be caked in dirt during this time. You want to make sure that you're keeping things less rusty, flexing those muscles, going to the gym in terms of like creating more stuff and connecting with vendors and understanding and learning things about this business and how you have a knock-on effect. And if you need more portfolio stuff, styled shoots are a great way to do that.
Yeah. And it's just like a really fun way to engage with people. It can be something small. It doesn't have to be a huge, $10,000 thing. It could literally be, I went to the thrift shop, I bought these cool sunglasses, and I have a friend that has a great denim jacket, and we're going to go and shoot
Something
this
I've always
weird
wanted
frickin'
to.
thing. It
Yeah.
could be anything, really. The goal is to keep creatively motivated, to keep excited about the work that you do, so that when the snow melts, proverbially or otherwise, that you are ready. You're ready for the thaw. You're stoked. You're getting creatively energized. And, staying in touch with other photographers and other vendors is a really, really great way to do it.
Take us home with the tagline, Lindsay.
Okay. Well, the goal is not to stay busy. It's to stay intentional, my friends. So stay intentional with your off season, and we'll be here. We will.
See you next week.
See ya next week.
Bye, guys. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all the things we show up for you. Shoot Your Shot Podcast. Sayonara, suckers.